French-Iranian artist, author and women's rights activist Marjane Satrapi, the illustrator behind the graphic novel memoir Persepolis, has died at 56. A statement from the Élysée Palace announcing her death Thursday lauded Satrapi's work, saying her work captivated a global audience.
Last month, 40-year-old Emma O'Neill, a black Irish woman, was racially insulted 3 times. Teenagers in her town south of Dublin shouted, "Go back to your country!" at her. She was rudely asked by a man whether she spoke English, and she was called the N-word at a local pub, all in the space of 2 weeks.
Social media giant Meta has hit out at Australia's latest plans to force digital platforms to support media outlets financially, labelling the proposals poorly designed and grossly unfair. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram, said on Thursday that the government's news bargaining incentive, NBI, would shield news publishers from needing to undertake the innovation necessary for a sustainable media landscape.
Semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy, may slow some molecular signs linked to biological aging, according to a randomized, placebo-controlled clinical study involving adults with HIV-associated lipohypertrophy. The study, published in Nature Communications, examined whether the GLP-1 drug affected epigenetic clocks, which estimate biological aging by tracking DNA methylation patterns. The work analysed data from a previous clinical trial of 108 adults, while the epigenetic analysis included paired DNA methylation data from 84 participants.
Rapper Talha Anjum has once again called on the government to do more for the families of the 11 Pakistani seafarers held hostage by pirates off the coast of Somalia. In an ex-post addressed to Foreign Office spokesperson Tahir Andrabi on Thursday, the rapper said, "For the past 45 days, 11 Pakistani citizens have been stranded off the coast of Somalia, completely abandoned without help, food or essential supplies." When NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang makes his second visit to South Korea in just 7 months this week, it won't be only to meet top memory chip and robotics executives, but to throw the first pitch at a baseball game and appear on a TV talk show. While a celebrity in his own right, the charm push by the Taiwan-born 63-year-old highlights South Korea's critical position in the AI landscape.
Russian-backed authorities in the occupied region of Crimea in Ukraine say at least 4 people have been killed in the latest wave of Ukrainian strikes on the peninsula. 3 people were killed and 7 wounded in one of the attacks on what were described as non-residential facilities in the regional capital, Simferopol. It appears to be the first attack resulting in fatalities there. A Nepali Sherpa guide who went missing on Mount Everest 6 days ago has been found crawling alone to base camp after fears that he had died. According to Pemba Sherpa of 8K Expeditions, which was coordinating the search for the missing guide, Dawa Sherpa was found by a clearing crew on Thursday morning as he was crawling down snowy slopes around the Khumbu icefall. Germany failed to secure a temporary seat on the United Nations Security Council, UNC, on Wednesday, with Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul suggesting that Berlin's support for Israel may have cost the country crucial votes. The UNSC consists of 15 members, including 5 permanent members and 10 elected members serving 2-year terms. Germany was competing with Austria and Portugal for 2 seats allocated to the Western Europe and Others group, but with the 2 other countries ultimately securing the positions instead. The United States House of Representatives has voted in favor of measures to halt President Donald Trump's war on Iran as the conflict drags into a 4th month and both sides remain at loggerheads in peace negotiations. The vote on Wednesday marks the first successful effort by lawmakers to force the US to end a conflict that has had mounting catastrophic effects, from thousands of civilian deaths to global trade disruptions.
Despite an extension in admissions and a reduction in eligibility criteria, 743 Mumbai BS and BDS seats remain vacant across Pakistan for the 2025-26 academic session, raising concerns about declining demand for medical and dental education. Official data showed that more than 22,300 seats were available in 187 public and private medical and dental colleges nationwide. However, 743 seats remained unfilled even after the Pakistan Medical and Dental Council, PM&DC, lowered the minimum admission requirements.
A vitamin D-based therapy may help remodel the protective barrier around pancreatic tumours, offering a possible new way to make the disease more vulnerable to treatment. A small clinical trial led by Dana-Farber Cancer Institute found that paracalcital, an FDA-approved vitamin D analogue used for other conditions, could be safely combined with standard chemotherapy in patients with previously untreated metastatic pancreatic cancer.
The Punjab government has launched a province-wide operation against illegal industrial units operating in residential areas on the directives of Chief Minister Maryam Nawaz Sharif. As part of the campaign, the Environmental Protection Department's Chiniot team carried out a major operation against a leather processing unit accused of causing environmental pollution.
The Power Division has rejected claims made in a news report titled New Power Tariff to Deter Solar Shift and called it factually incorrect and misleading. A spokesperson for the Power Division said no proposal has been shared with the Hani IMS, industrial consumers, for using less than their sanctioned electricity load or for shifting to solar and other off-grid energy sources.
The Pakistan women's cricket team have been knocked out of the Ireland-hosted T20I Tri-Series after persistent rain washed out their match against West Indies at Tyrcastle Avenue. The abandoned match confirmed a bottom-place finish for Pakistan, who have only 2 points from 3 matches. Even if Pakistan beat host nation Ireland, they can only reach a maximum of 6 points. They can only reach a maximum of 6 points. The Delhi government will launch a crackdown on properties violating fire safety norms after a fire at a hotel in the capital city killed 21 people on nationals. The Chief Minister's office said the blaze, the deadliest the city has seen since 2022, broke out at a hotel in Delhi's Malviya Nagar, which media said was popular in Malviya Nagar, which being treated said was barstools being treated at a hospital nearby and their relatives.
Islamabad. The Federal Constitutional Court, FCC, on Thursday ruled that directions to the High Courts for expeditious decisions in pending matters by superior courts should be issued sparingly and couched in appropriate words. The judgment comes against the backdrop of a recent petition by the National Cybercrime Investigation Agency, NCCIA, before the Supreme Court challenging its May 12, 2026 direction to the Islamabad High Court, IHC, for deciding in 2 weeks the sentence suspension pleas of human rights lawyers Ayman Zainab, Mazhar Azir and Hadi Ali Chatha in the controversial social media posts case. Government forces and opposition fighters have exchanged heavy gunfire in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, as a row over delays to elections has escalated. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's term in office ended on the 15th of May, but was extended by a year. The opposition said this was unconstitutional and called for protests on Thursday.
After letting another big lead slip with an error-strewn performance at the French Open, top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka felt like getting as far away from the courts as possible. Just want to quit tennis right now, Sabalenka said after wasting a lead of a set and 2 breaks in a 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 loss to Diana Schneider in the quarter-finals on Wednesday.
Jalen Brunson scored 13 of his 30 points in the fourth quarter, and the New York Knicks overcame a 14-point third-quarter deficit to post a 105-95 victory over the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday in Game 1 of the NBA Finals in Texas. Karl Anthony Towns contributed 18 points and 12 rebounds as the Knicks won their 12th consecutive playoff game, tied for the second-longest postseason streak in league history. China has banned 4 New Zealand lawmakers for visiting Taiwan in May, saying they disregarded Beijing's serious concerns, resolute opposition and repeated prior warnings. In a statement released on Thursday, the Chinese embassy in Wellington lambasted the visit, saying the lawmakers met with high-level politicians, which caused serious adverse political impacts and sent the wrong signals to Taipei's ruling Democratic Progressive Party.
Block your calendar. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is here. From superstars Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe and Harry Kane to young guns such as Lamine Yamal, Arda Güler, Yan Diomande and more, football's brightest talents will assemble in North America.
Bangladeshi Foreign Minister Khalilur Rahman has been elected as the 81st President of the 193-member United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. He will assume office when the UNGA session opens in September. Rahman, who earlier held several portfolios at the UN, won the presidency after defeating Cyprus's Ambassador Andreas Kakouris in a closely contested vote, taking the helm of the world's most representative diplomatic body during a time of global geopolitical turmoil. The Ministry of Information Technology has proposed tax relief measures for mobile phone users in the upcoming fiscal year budget, recommending reductions in both the 15% advance tax and the 19.5% general sales tax, GST. The proposals have been submitted to the Ministry of Finance as part of a broader strategy to support the growth of Pakistan's telecommunications sector.
The Balochistan government has approved a series of major education reforms aimed at increasing literacy rates, improving access to education and enhancing learning facilities across the province. The decisions were taken during a high-level meeting chaired by Chief Minister Sarfraz Bugti.
The Sindh government has announced the timeline for the release of matriculation and intermediate examination results across the province. The decision was made during a meeting chaired by Sindh Minister for Universities and Boards Mohammed Ismail Rahu, attended by Secretary Universities Mohammed Abbas Balok and chairpersons of educational boards.
The Punjab government has proposed a massive Honhar scholarship programme worth $1.72 trillion aimed at expanding access to higher education for talented and deserving students across the province. For the fiscal year 2026-27, the government has also suggested allocating us $33.25 billion under the programme to provide financial assistance to students pursuing higher education.
Google has launched Gemma 412B, a 12 billion parameter OpenAI model designed to run locally on laptops without fully relying on cloud infrastructure. The model is small enough to run on systems with 16 gigabytes of VRAM or unified memory. Gemma 412B is part of Google's Gemma family of open models, which are built from the same research and technology used in Gemini models. The model is released under the Apache 2.0 license, allowing developers and organizations to use, modify, and deploy it with fewer restrictions. The Foreign Office on Thursday refuted reports that Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar shared any information regarding Iran's nuclear program during a meeting with United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Dar met with Rubio on May 29 during a brief visit to Washington, where the two discussed bilateral cooperation as well as regional security issues. Rubio had praised Islamabad's role in advancing peace in the Middle East.